At the beginning, we are shown a humanitarian university in which all the events are happening right now. We see the main character named Choi Yeoju. He is from the Korean literature department and he is bored. At that moment, someone decides to address him by name and asks him to drink coffee because the guy is sleepy. It turned out that the main character is offered coffee by a pretty girl named Jian. Now they are looking for a person giving a lecture who says that they are looking for a candidate for president of the student council. Choi Yeoju would not have wanted to become one, but to his great surprise, his name was called. This guy's friends think it sounds great and he should definitely try it. Choi Yeoju believes that he cannot manage everything alone, and he needs at least 3 more people to help. Jian heard that the main character now needs help, which is why she is ready to help. The guy doesn't believe that she's ready to sign up for this, but it's okay to say that she's ready to help as a clerk. Another girl already tells the guy that she is ready to help him, and he will be grateful if she agrees. This girl's name is Kana Rayam, and she is from the French literature department, and she says that Appa will do all the work. The main character tells her that she will have to do her work, but she first wants to see his work. At that moment, Seol also joined in and was also ready to help in the position of secretary. Lee Yi-seol thinks Yeoju Appa is very cute because all these girls are ready to help this nice guy. The girl is ready to make this guy the president, but he asks to wait and is not sure if it will work that way. A group of girls don't understand why he suddenly asked to stay because they are all ready to work together and help him. After some time, the girls began to think that they had worked hard enough and wanted to go to the cafe, but Yeoju stopped them. But apparently these girls don't care about the guy's words, and Seol in turn waves her hand at him and asks him to call her. The main character in turn does not understand what is happening, and it turns out that he has no other choice and he will have to work with them. After some time, Choi Yeoju realizes that it's time for him to go, but he doesn't want to, and he received a call from someone on his phone. It turned out that it was Jin calling him. He answered the call and wants to clarify what exactly she wants from him. In response, Jin told the main character something that he definitely wouldn't want to hear, judging by his facial expression. She says that she is very sorry, because due to family circumstances, she will not study abroad and will not be able to join the student council. Suddenly, the guy met her right in front of him, and you understand that nothing can be done about it, and the girl is upset because of this. Choi Yeoju is upset that the girl is leaving their council, but a little later he is going to see something that will upset him even more. We can observe the guy's very displeased and very surprised face. Apparently another girl is leaving them. Kana Rayam says she's going crazy. She doesn't think she can join the council because she's going to get a job. The girl decided not to spend too much time on long conversations, so she simply apologized and said that she was leaving. The main character is dissatisfied that everything is going exactly this way. He asks the girl to come back so that she can talk, but she remains silent. Kana Rayam ignores the guy and silently moves on. Now Choi Yeoju is going crazy and realizes that he needs to talk to Seol too. Suddenly, at that very moment, a notification came to the main character's phone from, and he was interested in what she wanted to tell him. Lee Seol says that she is very sorry. She wanted to help but will not be able to join the council for personal reasons, and this is of course very sad. The main character has already lost all hope. He believes that they will actually mock him because he has lost all his assistants, and he definitely cannot cope alone. Choi Yeoju agreed that time to become the president of the council for the sole reason that they told him that they would help him, and now they all abandoned him. The guy silently and sad walks along the corridor, intending to put his thoughts in order. He believes that he will have to go to McDonald's to eat his grief. Suddenly, on the way, our main character suddenly heard someone's loud laughter. Now he is looking around trying to understand who it is coming from. Choi Yeoju, a moment later, has already discovered the source of this sound. He silently looks at this girl and tries to understand who she is. Our main character looked at the girl for a while and realized that it was Seol, and the guy was very angry because she refused to help him and is now here. Her friend tells her that she heard that a new restaurant opened nearby, so she suggests going there, and apparently Seol is ready to go there right now. Choi Yeoju is tired of watching this whole process from the side, so he decides to approach this girl and find out what she is doing. Lee and Seol heard a familiar voice behind her calling her name, so she decides to turn around to see if Kido is talking to her. The guy heard that she was going to go have a drink right now, despite her personal reasons that she talked about, and Seol realizes that she was caught and apologizes. However, this impudent girl did not even decide to try to explain herself to the guy in any way. She just took her friends and moved on, upsetting the guy. After some time, we can watch Choi Yeoju, who is right now lying on his sofa, realizing that everyone has abandoned him. Our main character understands that he agreed to this because they said that they would help him, but they offered and now he is also thinking about leaving. While Choi Yeoju continued to lie on the sofa, a gray-haired man decided to approach him and clarify whether he was the new president or not. The main character heard the question addressed to him and answered it by saying that for now he is the president. The man in uniform heard the answer and wants to say something. Straightening his cap, he says that there is a storage room here that the student council uses and he needs to clean it up. It would be nice if the guy helped him with this. Then it becomes clear that our main character still opened the door for this worker, but because of all the dust, they began to cough. These two begin to look around, and the worker wants to ask the guy if he needs anything from here, but Choi Choiju believes that he can do without it. However, after some time, our main guy noticed the iPhone lying on the table, and Choi Yozu realizes that he can watch Mr. Beast's video on it. The guy considers this discovery in the form of a tablet to be a real success, so he tells the employee that he is going to take this particular thing with him. Then our main character decides to inspect this tablet and how it is generally doing and whether it can start up so that it can be used. Suddenly, Choi Yoju discovered something that he didn't like at all. He realized that there was definitely something wrong with this tablet, and it was broken and didn't want to start. However, after examining the tablet and pressing various buttons on it, the guy was very surprised to discover that the tablet was still working and that he would use it. The tablet has started to get stuck and asks the guy to register a new user, and then the guy realizes with great surprise that the tablet is actually new. A moment later, Choi Yoju began to type his name Choi Yoju on the keyboard, but his skills leave much to be desired and he does it quite slowly. After registration, it becomes clear that this tablet is associated with a development program for adults, and it already contains information about Choi Yoju. The system says that with the help of this program, the president must select a student for a period of time, and the president will have to help the student's development. This greatly surprised the black-haired president of the council. He doesn't understand what kind of wording this system uses. He's wondering what all this could mean. A moment later, our main character learns that training has begun. So now is the time to choose his goal, and photographs of female students open in front of him. Having seen this picture in front of us, our main character once again begins to think that this device is really the property of the university. This strange tablet was just lying in the closet and looks new. It's even possible that someone decided to plant it here as a joke, so you need to examine it. Our main character, taking this tablet, sat down and began to carefully examine it with a smart look. He understands that it will take a lot of time to figure everything out. Choi Yoju believes that his actions will definitely not cause any harm to anyone, so he immediately decides to choose Jiyeon because she was the first to leave. After the guy clicked on the girl's photo, the Chinese chat GPT decided to clarify whether the guy really wanted to choose Kim Ji-yeon from 21 groups of the full culture. The guy still chose her, after which the system asked him to choose the place and time of the meeting with the student. Under the place he chose the student council office and wants to meet today. Already after a moment, you can see very strong surprise on our main character's face. Jen himself stood up in front of him and congratulated this guy. Appearing in front of Choi Yoju, she again asks for forgiveness for what happened today. The guy looks at her and does not understand what is happening now. She tells him that on the way home she kept thinking about him, and that is why she decided to return to the university to meet him and talk. In response, the black-haired man became a little embarrassed and said that as soon as he finishes cleaning the pantry, he will immediately come and ask the girl to sit here and wait. Jiyeon, in turn, listened carefully to the guy's words and let him know that she was ready to wait for him here until the end, and at the same time she looked at him with bright eyes. Our main character still cannot believe that everything that is happening is real. He finished going about his business and, returning to the girl, asks how long she waited. Jiyeon looks embarrassed at the floor and tells the guy that she had to wait for a while, after which at the same moment Choi Yoju still thinks that this is all a joke. Next, the guy notices that something is wrong with the girl now, so he tries to touch her shoulder to attract attention and offer to talk now. In OLTVT, the girl almost didn't react at all and just continued to silently look at the floor. Choi Yoju hopes that this is not because of what he wrote on the tablet. The main character still doesn't understand what's happening to her and why she looks so unwell, so she wants to clarify what happened, thinking that she's sick. After Ji-young heard the question from him, she began to slowly raise her gaze in his direction, and at that moment the guy was already starting to think that everything was real. A notification came from the system saying that the guy had successfully called the student to the appointed place, and his sensitivity was doubled due to his touch. Meanwhile, the girl herself is trying to get back on her feet, and decides to answer his question by saying that she is not sick, and supposedly everything is fine with her. However, the main character still sees that something is wrong with her, and simply cannot believe her words. So when he touches her, he wants to ask if she is okay, which makes him scream. At this moment, the guy notices that something is wrong with Jen, and trying to talk to her is useless, so he invites her to sit down for a while and rest. A moment later, you can see how Jian listened to our main egro and still sat down in her place, after which she begins to look directly at him. Choi Yoju decides to touch this girl's shoulders again. He understands that they are very tense because after this touch, she will scream again. Despite her screams, the guy for some reason does not remove his hand from her shoulder, after which the girl, turning to him, says that this usually does not happen to her. Jiyeon doesn't understand what's happening to her now, but she makes it clear to the main character that she's not at all against what's happening to her right now. She is already starting to like the fact that the main character touches her shoulder and shows how much he cares about her and is trying to take care of her. Then we can watch Choi Yoju's very sly smile because he realizes that this very tablet that he found in the warehouse works and the system did not lie to him. The girl invited the guy to have a little fun. He immediately understood her desire and decided to fulfill it, but he doesn't do it the way she wants and he should be more careful. These two continue to go about their important business. The main character understands that the feelings he experiences are quite strange, but he continues anyway. Choi Yoju invites Jiyeon to film how they play alone. Judging by the girl's reaction, she doesn't want to do this at all and wants it to remain a secret. After some time, the girl sees that the guy wants to get into her garage, but she asks him to wait because she urgently needs to tell him something. Jiyeon tells the guy that her fuel tank is already starting to leak, and this is a very strange feeling that she simply couldn't help but share with the guy. Now, when the black-haired man thought about it, he immediately remembered something in his tablet that mentioned something about a twofold amplification, and this was exactly that case. In any case, our main character is very grateful to the tablet, which he found quite recently, after which Choi Yoju personally became convinced that the fuel tank was leaking. In response, Jiyeon asks the guy not to share his thoughts on this matter in this way because it confuses her very much and she doesn't want that. A moment later, Jiyeon notices how the main character shows her his Cybertruck. Seeing him, she was very surprised, but asks to stop because she needs to say something. The girl tells this guy that she came here just to talk about the duties of the council, and they don't understand everything could have come to just this. Jiyeon continues to get incredible pleasure from the test drive that the main character provided her. She understands that she immediately wanted to play with the guy just by seeing him. The girl simply cannot tell him to stop, and at the same time she does not feel the best, so apparently this interesting game will continue. During this creative process, our main character paid attention to Jen's face, and he realizes that her reaction to all this is quite beautiful. Then Jiyeon tells Choi Yoju that it seems to her that she loves him, but despite all this, she still continues to feel very strange. This girl forced the guy to become president, and she ran away. Apparently all three girls underestimated him, which is why he is going to punish them in his own way. Jiyeon continues to scream loudly because this game looks quite interesting, and that is why if they continue to play, she will not be able to restrain her emotions. The girl tells the main character that she feels very strange, which is why she wants them to stop doing this because she needs to go to the toilet. Jiyeon is a girl who has always been very shy, but right now she agreed to take part in a test drive of his Cybertruck and apparently does not regret it. Our main character continues to enjoy this very fun game, but they have been playing for too long, which is why his patience will soon come to an end. The fuel tank leaked once again, and apparently Jiyeon was a little embarrassed about this incident, and she seemed to be trying to explain herself to him. The girl looks very confused, but the main character sees everything for himself. He understands that their game turned out to be too fun, which is why she cannot find words. Jiyeon tells Choi Yoju that the game was very interesting and enjoyable, which is why she wants to repeat it to experience the same interesting emotions. This charged waifu asks the main character to drive the Cybertruck into the garage so that they can play again and forget about all their problems. The main character makes it clear to the girl that he himself is not against the fact that they can play with each other again. So right now he wants to do it. The game has already started. Jiyeon likes it so much that she's already starting to feel like she's about to go crazy because the guy is a real professional in this game. After some time, the main character tells the girl that his patience is already beginning to come to an end. He hopes that Jin understands him perfectly. The girl tells our main character that his patience cannot end right now, so they will have to stop for a while and continue later. Jiyeon tells Choi Yoju that she wants to enjoy this interesting game with him, which is why he can't stop now. However, despite all the attempts of the protagonist to control himself, his patience has come to an end, and it is clear from Jin's face that she was very surprised by this. Then she lets the guy know that she also managed to enjoy the game, which is why she got incredible pleasure from it. After some time, we can again watch Jiyeon, who is sitting at her computer right now, being sad and not understanding why she did it. The girl begins to think that she wants to do this again, but then she comes to the realization that now she is not thinking about what she should be thinking about. So it's time to stop. Then Jiyeon decides to take out his phone, and we see in it a correspondence with Yoju. So we find out that today after the couple, the girl will be in the student council room. Then the events move to our main character right now. He is holding his new tablet in his hands and is interested in what kind of thing is being held in front of him. He's not sure what it is, but in his opinion, it's definitely surprising. Now that he thought about it, he remembered that this tablet mentioned something about some kind of marks. Choi Yoju wants to clarify what grade Kim Ji-young received, and it becomes clear that after hanging out yesterday, the girl received a low grade of 3, and the guy thinks that this is not enough. Suddenly, our main character remembers that there is still Sul, and apparently she will be the next one who the guy is going to start evaluating. And so Kolku, these two have a joint couple tomorrow. This is a great moment to talk to her, and later start their joint lesson so that she gets the grade. At the same moment, the guy remembers how Lee and Seul asked to call her Seul Nuna, but the main character never did this, and apparently he now has other ideas. In front of Choi, Yoju opened up with a photo of a girl. After which he is going to choose her for his lesson, he wonders if she will laugh after she gets a low grade. The main character got ready and is already going to his university, and just the thought that the guy spared her in that audience makes him consider himself the coolest. However, the guy understands that they will not be able to spend time together during classes, so first he needs to draw up a plan for further actions. After some time, our main character had already reached his university and apparently went to his classroom where lessons would be held. He immediately met Lee and Seul in front of him. He looks at her confidently, but she seemed embarrassed because quite recently she brazenly decided to deceive the guy and left him. The girl understands that they have nowhere to go, so she will have to answer him, and she decided to say hello in response, realizing with horror that they now have a joint lesson. After the dialogue, Lee and Seul went and took her place, however, unexpectedly for her. The main character found him. As soon as he found out that the place next to her was free, he immediately decided to join her. The main character continues to look at her, and after thinking for a while, he realizes that their first meeting with this girl will take place immediately after the student council meeting. The girl actually doesn't want to communicate with Choi Yoju at all right now, but despite this, she tries to seem polite and tells him that he is right in his words. The guy begins to tell her that he is disappointed with her action, but Ji-yeon at least came to the guy to say hello, even taking into account the fact that she refused to help in the same way. Lee Seul is lost in thought. She didn't know that Ji-yeon came in to apologize, and she's annoyed by the fact that Ji-yeon is pretending to be a good-natured person. The girl doesn't understand why she's being compared to Ji-yeon. But her question seemed too strange for our main character. He understands that in this way she seems to be trying to evade the answer, and, apparently, he doesn't like it. Then it becomes clear that this girl is already very tired of holding everything back completely inside herself, so right now she is going to speak out to this guy. After that, she starts looking at Choi Yoju with a very angry look. She asks him to stop acting like some damn old man because it's starting to annoy her. Our main character could not at all expect that this impudent girl would decide to speak out to him in this way, so he directly asked her what was wrong on her part. It seemed to her that the guy didn't hear her, so that's why she repeated, saying that this guy was acting like a real Stark and she didn't like it at all. Lee Seul turned out to be much crazier than the guy expected, so he tells her that he was just stating the facts in front of her, and it seems to him that she does not agree with him. A moment after her words, unexpectedly for the guy, the girl decided to take out her phone and simply began to remain silent without answering his question, and he did not like her behavior at all. Nevertheless, our main character does not try to waste his precious time trying to prove something to her, so he simply fell behind her because he has more important things to do. Choi Yoju already has a further plan of action at the moment. He looks at Lee and Seul with a very sly look, and he would be interested to see how her answers change in the future. After some time, we can observe Lee Seul, who is stretching out right now, saying that she is very bored and apparently nothing unusual is happening. The main character has been watching her behavior all this time, and he notices that she is holding on much longer than he expected, and, apparently, everything is starting to go differently from the script in his head. Choi Yoju continues to look at this girl, and apparently he is not at all tired of this deal. He knows what the outcome of this will be, and he is interested in seeing how long she will hold out. Suddenly, this girl begins to feel like something very strange is beginning to happen to her body. This feeling is quite unusual, and she immediately paid attention to it. Let's decide to examine ourselves. She notices that her body is starting to shake violently, and she doesn't understand why she's getting too hot in this room, so she wants to find out as soon as possible. Suddenly, this girl, without expecting it, accidentally shouted too loudly right in class out of surprise. She covered her mouth so that this would definitely not happen again. Hearing this strange cry from the other side, Lee and Seul Choi Yoju notices that his plan is working and everything is going exactly as he expected. But at the same time, he needs to wait a little more. We can again observe the girl's reaction. It becomes clear that the fuel tank is starting to leak and she can't understand what's happening to her, And it started very suddenly. The main character understands that everything is going as it should, so remembering what happened to Ji-yeon, he decides to touch Lee In-sul's shoulder to see how she reacts to it. As expected, the girl immediately felt how her body suddenly became much more sensitive than usual. The guy decides that moment to ask her how she feels. After hearing the question, Lee In-sul decided to remain silent for a while and simply silently looked at the floor, because after being touched on the shoulder, she experienced some incomprehensible feeling. She decides not to attract much attention to herself, after which she turns back to our main character and, starting to smile, says that everything is fine with her. Choi Yeoju heard the answer, and it begins to seem to him that something is wrong here, after which he believes that he should wait just a little longer and watch because he is interested in what will happen next. The guy makes it clear to this girl that it's already clear that she doesn't feel right, so he just asks her to tell the truth, and Sul realizes that everything is clear here and is going to tell. At that moment, the girl thought very hard, remembering how just a minute ago our main character touched her shoulder and exactly how she experienced a strange feeling. We see Sul's memories and how the guy touched her. She understands that at that moment she screamed loudly, which made all the other students in the audience look at her. The girl understands that this will not work, and it is because of this that she will have to take some measures, because her condition is getting worse and worse, and it is becoming difficult to endure. Lee Sul understands that she won't be able to sit through all her classes until the end, trying to endure this feeling, and that's why she's going to take time off right now and go home. Lee In-sul makes it clear to Choi Yeoju that she doesn't feel well at all, and that's why she's going to go home. But the guy doesn't intend to let her go and just decided to hug her. The main character understands perfectly well that the fuel tank is leaking badly, which is why he is going to help her because he is worried about her condition. Then the guy invites the girl to play a game with her. She doesn't understand what he's doing, but the guy decides to ask if he knows what they will do next. However, Lee Sul even decided not to answer this question. She only pushes this Sigma away so that she can calmly go to her home and play League of Legends in peace. But our main character makes it clear to this girl that he does not intend to let her go at this very moment. She does not understand why he is doing all this, and asks to let her go from here. She finally realizes that our main character is not going to let her go right now. At this very moment, she feels that it is getting very hot in this room, and it is difficult to withstand. Then suddenly the girl accidentally touched the Cybertruck. Of course, no one could have expected this, but apparently she liked it very much, so she could not restrain herself. A moment later, our main character was very surprised that she actually touched the Cybertruck, because he really could not expect such a turn of events. Further, Lee In-sul makes it clear to Choi Yeoju that she can no longer endure it, and that is why she wants to take part in a test drive of the Cybertruck to satisfy her desire. After some time, these two left the audience, and right now they are about to start playing a very interesting game. The guy understands that she is behaving very confidently. At the same moment, our main character realizes that this girl was previously very arrogant and bad, but now she is acting very badly, and it is very unusual to watch. Our main character understands that he didn't even have to do anything special, and this girl immediately made it clear to him that she really wanted to play with him. After some time, Lee Yi-sil asks Jung Yeoju to wait because she remembered that she has a ball in her backpack that can make their game much more fun. After these words, the girl decided not to lose her time and wanted to immediately take it out of her bag, and our main hero understands that it is impossible not to look at this beautiful view. A moment later, the girl took out a ball and with all her appearance made it clear to the guy that she was ready to play a game with him and they could start right now. Having realized the girl's readiness, the main character decided to start a test drive of his Cybertruck, and one can already understand that the girl was not against it, and she likes it. The girl will understand that this guy's management skills are at a very high level, and she stated this directly. The guy liked her words, and he wants her to say that more. The girl makes it clear to our main character that this game is very fun and she doesn't want it to end, so they will have to continue these interesting actions. Choi Yeoju decides to ask her if she wants more games like this after they finish this one. After asking, he expects an interesting answer from her. A moment later, the girl gave her answer and lets him know that she is absolutely always ready to participate with him in these classes because she likes it very much.